The hardest thing in machining that will put levels of stress on your shoulders that you can't even comprehend is securing and retaining high-level customers. Because without them, everything stops. Your fixturing, your tooling, your jobs, everything that you set up, all the money that you put into tools, labor, setups, it all means nothing. Now think about it. You can spend weeks on dialing in fixtures, dialing in coolant, dialing in your programs, getting everything set. And then all of a sudden your customer that has no loyalty to you jumps ship because of quotes that are like 2% less expensive. Now, to be successful as a job shop, it's all about repeat work. It's about finding customers that will give you a job that you will tool up, you will program, you will fixture, and you'll run, say, 100 parts, 200 parts. And then a month later, they will repeat the order, repeat the order. The second time you actually do the order, you don't have to program it. So you're making more money. You don't have to tool it up because you have the tools probably in a tooling box. And you have a fixture that's on a pallet. They can just rotate into the machine and you have that repeat work. When you're not fixturing, that means the machine is running. That means you're making money. Now there's a lot of you guys out there that are actually doing all of that. They're securing the job. They are fixturing. They're pouring their heart and soul into the project. They're running the parts knowing that they're going to get that repeat work. But they might not have the PO, they just have the word of the customer. And then all of a sudden the customer comes back, stabs you in the back, gives the work to somebody else because it's 5 cents cheaper per part without even giving you an opportunity. And you're left tearing everything down, starting over, losing money, losing profit, losing all of it. And then you start that entire rotation again with a new customer. Now, one of the reasons that I found success, that Titans of CNC found success, is because I understood that not all customers are created equal. And not all vendors are created equal. And therefore, I had to learn from my mistakes. I had to change my ways and be strategic to find the right customers that would last a lifetime, that you could actually build a crazy relationship where both customer and vendor win. We need customers that give you blanket orders. They give you long runs, they give you repeat work, and they trust you as a partner. Now here's the battlefield. You're competing against companies that are willing to cut their prices and lose money just to get a chance at your customer. And that's a problem. You're also dealing with customers that are willing to shop around for a better price. Now, when you look at top level companies, like say a SpaceX, you'll have different levels of purchasing agents or buyers. You have the young guys that come in, they don't understand the vendors, they don't understand who you are or what you bring to the table. They're looking for a price, so they look good. But through experience, they'll actually go for all of the cheap prices if not reined in, and they'll suffer the consequences by having late deliveries, by having scrap parts, by having to redo parts because of the quality issues that come with that. But then you also have top level buyers that have the experience and they've been burned because they've gone after those cheap working shops and they've lost. And those shops make them look bad. And their lead times and their assemblies and everything gets pushed out, which then puts their job in jeopardy. Now these guys, men and women, they're wiser. So they actually look at shops based on who you are. Are you AS9100? What is your history? What type of parts do you have? What type of capabilities do you have? What type of machines do you have? What type of parts? What type of materials? What tolerances? All of it. They take a deeper look into it. So as a potential high value vendor, you need to fight for an opportunity to talk to a buyer on that level because they understand the game and they're willing to pay the money to secure high value vendors that deliver quality parts on time consistently. Now, when you start rising levels when it comes to customers and you start looking at who's the right customer, what's the right type of work, consistent work that's going to be around for a long time, it is a competitive field. A lot of people look at machining like, oh, this is such a complex industry and it's so difficult. But on that level, everyone can make parts. Everyone can deliver parts. So you have to figure out how to find a niche and how to separate yourself from the bunch. It's not about making chips, it's about surviving the customer game. It's a mindset that you have to win. And if you don't master what I'm telling you, you're going to struggle forever. So what is a high value customer, and how do you recognize one when you see it? A high value customer isn't just about how much money they spend. It's about the type of work they bring you. Here's 4 characteristics that explain what a high value customer is. 1, they place blanket orders and guarantee it. So instead of getting 1 purchase order per month, you're actually getting 1 purchase order for 12 months straight with delivery dates per month. It gives you steady workflow and you're not having to chase POs. 2, they give long-running jobs, stable, profitable production. 3, they send repeat work, parts that keep coming back with minor variations. 4, they respect the partnership. They're not just here to save pennies. They're looking for someone that they can trust and have a long-term relationship with. Now, these customers are gold, but they're rare. And here's the kicker. You don't find them by luck. You earn them. And that means that you don't have to be just a shop. You have to be a high-valued vendor. You have to have confidence in that. You have to have the mindset for that. If you want customers to stick, you have to prove that you're irreplaceable. You have to give them an experience that they've never had before. Here's what high-value vendors look like. Extreme production skills. You run jobs that others avoid. Problem solving. You don't just cut parts, you solve engineering nightmares. You show them a better way. You show them a better solution, and you show them how to save money. Quality. Parts are right the first time, every time. When you step into a high level, you have to change everything. You have to go to 100% inspection on all tight tolerances. You have to take your in-process inspection to an entirely new level, and your documentation needs to be traceable and perfected. When those customers walk into your company, they need to see perfect parts and everything documented perfectly so they have confidence in you. They look at your processes, they see that it is absolutely flawless, and they know that this company is high level. They do everything high level. That means that they will take care of us and our parts on the highest level. Another huge one is on-time delivery. Reliability builds trust with high-level customers. If you give them a date, you need to beat that date consistently and never fail. And if you have any problems along the way that could prohibit you from actually delivering those parts on time, you need to communicate way ahead of time, and you need to be truthful and honest about the process, and then be willing to work crazy hours and through the weekends to get the jobs done, to solve the problem, and that in itself builds more trust. Another one that is absolutely key, where most shops fail, is innovation. We have to have an obsession for perfecting the process. We have to look at it and never say, this is the way we've always done it. We have to look for ways to improve it. Even if we have a company that has paid $5 per part for 5 years straight, if you see new tooling, if you see a new way of fixturing, a new machine, and they have a crazy amount of parts that you manufacture for that company, if you can figure out how to actually save time and go back to them and say, I know we have purchase orders, but I found a new way to do this, and I'm gonna actually drop the prices down to $4.75 with you still making money, they will love you forever, and that will bring crazy trust because you didn't have to do that. You're showing something that nobody else would show, and therefore you're digging your roots into a high-value customer. It's hard to walk away from a vendor that puts you first. All right, so here's how you start building relationships with high-value customers. Filter customers. Stop quoting every random job. You need to target the ones that value having a high-level vendor. Prove your value up front. Show cycle time reductions, fixture strategies, and even machine sample parts for the customer. If they're high level and they're willing to look at the parts, you need to do what it takes to secure that relationship because it could change your company's future. Over-deliver on the first orders. Make it impossible for them to imagine working with anyone else. When they open the box is perfect. The tape even has the name of your company on it. When they cut through the box and they look at the parts, the packaging is perfect. And when they undo the packaging and see the parts, they stand there in awe looking at jewelry. Over deliver and give them something they've never seen before, and give them a service they've never seen before. A huge lesson that I learned is diversity. Just like customers never put their eggs in one basket, neither should you. Never let a single customer hold you hostage, no matter how much money they're offering you. Always diversify. Always have many different customers serving your company. So if one goes down, the others can keep you afloat while you look for the next. But how do you truly find a high value customer? You have to interview them. If you say these two things, it will also help them respect you because they know you're serious about relationships. So question number one that you need to ask this potential customer: do you see your vendors as long-term partners or just as another quote? This one is actually important because it's short and to the point, and when you say it, it's going to get them to open up about their company and their vision and how they actually look at their vendors. And at this time, you might just get them to open up in a way where they say, you know what, we actually do want vendors that can do repeat work. We want to end up doing blanket orders, and they can actually give you some of the knowledge needed to see if they're actually a high value customer or not, and if they have the potential to be one. Number two would be, what is the biggest headache your current vendors give you? Now, this one is super important because now you're showing competitiveness. You're looking at the vendors that are now serving them, and you're instantly saying, I'm going to be better than them. I'm going to solve the problems that you're having. And this is straight up impressive, and it creates more conversations that will allow you to determine if this customer can be a high value customer for your company. If you want to win in this trade, stop thinking like a machinist. Stop thinking like a job shop and think like a strategic partner and solve your customers' problems, and you will thrive. Boom, baby. And speaking of boom, Boombastic 2025 is happening in Dallas, Texas, November 12th, 13th, and 14th. All machines. We're going to have crazy jobs running. We're going to be teaching the industry. If you want your machinist to learn how to machine titanium and Inconel and look at fixturing and automation and learn something, not just look at machines running air. If you want to learn something, then there's a description down below. Come to Texas. Let's hug it out because we are family. Boom, go get those high level customers, make it happen, take care of your families, and do great. Boom, baby, love you.